Hi there, and welcome back to Stubbs Aquatics. Well, when you have as many fish tanks as I do, sometimes you just need to make life a little bit easier, especially when you're doing some cleaning. Now, I have a little bit different cleaning method than most. Uh, I don't really vacuum the substrate too much. I do need a vacuum system though, simply because I don't like removing all the filters, the hang on the back filters to clean them, and they can be a total pain. You're always slopping stuff all over the place. That's why everyone says, get a canister, get a canister. Well, I don't have canisters, and I'm going to stick with hang on the back for now. But, whenever first, you want to turn it off. And second, you know, you want to get all that gunk out of the bottom. But if you don't want to take the actual filter off the back of the tank, you're going to need some kind of method to get it all out. And you definitely don't want to siphon that and end up with that pure bacterial field in your mouth. Now, I do think it's important to follow a certain method when you clean your tanks and in a certain order. I mean, no sense doing the job twice, right? And this is what I would recommend is, obviously you scrub your glass, you change your filters, then you do your water change. But sometimes you do it all at once. And it's just a time saving method. And I'll be demonstrating this through the use of some Hygger products, which I'm going to let you know which ones I'm using. And some I recommend more than others. So enjoy the video. If you like it, hit that thumbs up button. Think about subscribing and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Looking at this Hygger Aquarium cleaning 6-in-1 kit. It's nice that they're starting to package their stuff a little bit nicer. It doesn't, the quality's still there, obviously, but it's nice to see, well, the package look a little neater and cleaner. Now I have the other set, and I can tell you just by the feel of this, it's sturdier. It's definitely great quality. You can change this without taking pieces out or adding. Made out of a great material. Comes with a lot. A cleaning sponge, which is a must, especially when you have glass. And it's got a good scraper on it. The other kit, it comes with a razor scraper. Be very careful, it is sharp. Got a gravel rake. I find that good for removing hair algae. I wouldn't use it on, I don't rake the gravel, but if you're into that fine aquascaping, you may want to use it. And I love, this is the first time they've ever included the brush. That'd be great for rock and or driftwood that has stubborn algae. And we'll be going through a lot of that as I clean this tank behind me. And it's got a nice little kit, again, for helping you remove algae and or pulling up some plants. And it would go great with your aquascaping kit. We are getting close to Christmas time, so this is why I'm putting two of these together. I just wanted to show you the difference between the previous model, which I still use and like, and this one. What a difference. The other one's more of a plastic, where this is more of a graphite material. Very sturdy handle. I love this the sponge, and we're going to be putting this through the test as I do a siphon and water change. Might as well get a couple jobs done at once, right? Well, as you can see, I've got the siphon going because, well, might as well get it all done at once and do it in the proper order. You're going to clean over your filters. You might as well do the water change at the same time. Scrub brush is great for doing up top here where the calcium and some algae builds up. So for those who don't want to get all mucky and dirty. This just snaps right on with the Velcro. Much easier. And you can adjust the length. That's so much easier than getting your hands in there. Especially if those of you who have, well, monster fish that like to nip. These guys will do a playful nip, but they're just going, where's my food? And what I really like about this is you can change the direction on it or the length of the handle, which comes in real handy. You can get a bit of an angle. I don't know about you, but algae always collects at the worst spots, right? But with these tools, that's not a problem. What a perfect time to do a water change when you're cleaning a tank like this. And of course, I got to clean it, take all my sponges as well. You see I'm really making a mess in here, which is great because I want this to go down the drain, not back in my tank. But for some of us that don't want to get their hands wet, we got some great tools here. We're just going to wipe it down with a sponge again and see what all we missed the first go around. Besides me, who uses plexiglass for lids? This stuff is a nightmare to keep clean. But we'll see how we do with this scrub brush. Look at this, coming right off. I don't like using a razor on his unless I absolutely have to. But look at this coming off. I just wipe it down with a sponge. All the water stains and calcium. Yeah. Our water is so hard here, it stains everything. This brush is doing a great job. Look at that. Look how much cleaner that's coming. That's not even with using any vinegar or anything. It's just so easy to hook up the attachments, and they're great. Just hooking up the scraper or the razor blade itself. Again, it's very sharp. Be careful. Bonus, there is an extra blade in there, and this just, it takes off any calcium stain, and of course it just wipes or scrapes algae right off there without scratching your tank. The net is self-explanatory. I'm not going to hook up and try to catch any fish with this net. I'll probably use it for just picking up leaf debris. The only thing we haven't discussed is the razor blade. They give you an extra razor blade and a screwdriver to remove the blades. Good thinking. I'll probably keep this in the toolbox. The only tool I haven't talked about, and again, I probably won't use that much, is the rake. Again, I'll use it for collecting string algae, but other than that, I probably won't use it. Now, when you're cleaning this many tanks, it's nice to have good equipment to make life a little easier. But like all of us, we all make mistakes, right? You gotta love when you backwash your filter into your aquarium. I have a solution for that. Like me, you've decided to backwash your filter into a tank and you want to do spot clean without losing all the water. Well, you've got a filter here, a filter here, so you're just cleaning your water instead of changing it over. And that's really good for people that are on water restraints or you just don't want to waste water. It's a really good filter system. So I'm going to be using a combination of, well, water changers through my filter cleans. And yep, they're all going to be Hygger. And I'm going to try this new one out. It's not brand new to the market, but it's brand new to me. That's being the Hygger electric vacuum gravel cleaner. I'm going to put it together, but first, I really want to test it out on my hang-on back filters and see if it works there, because that is my biggest pain. You know, the last thing you want to do is you clean your filter and then you blow the crap all out throughout your tank and end up having to do a huge water change. You know, that's just not for me. I want to make things easier, not harder. We'll go through the actual pump portion and the attachments for the bottom of the pump. We'll first look at this, which is a deep gravel clean, especially if you want to get it right into the substrate. And that's just a matter of clicking it on. Real simple. Nothing to it, right? Got a vacuum, self-explanatory, and it attaches the same manner. Then the scraper vacuum, which is great for, you know, where you got a heavy debris area. And I'll be using that for the inside of my hang on the back filter. Another attachment for areas if you want to get deep into the tubes or wherever. I like it how they all have guards on them though. You're not sucking up fish. And for your gravel clean, I'm sure most people are going to be using this attachment. Got a filter here, and you can see right in. Now, obviously, I've given a bit of a go first. I wanted to make sure I could knew what I was talking about when I was demonstrating. Next piece is an important piece. This one is for if you don't want to do a water change, but want to clean the gravel. It's got a filter pad inside, so you're just cleaning the water, and then it's going back into your tank. And I like it kept to the three-way splitter here, and I just leave it there. Then you just connect these. Pretty simple. Put some clips on. That's to guide so your wire is not getting tangled up. And then at the end, it's got a hose. You just push on. That's if you want to actually take the water right out and put it into a bucket or a drain area. This is the absolute last stuff you ever want going back into your tank. Like, it's pretty nasty. I haven't even got to the worst of it. Because I always beef up my filters, I track that much more, but look at that. That's nasty. Ugh. Get all the roots out of there. Yuck. because I don't need it to be very long, I'm just going to hook up the hose connector here, and it'll draw the water right up through and out the hose. I'm going to hook the jug up to this. One, so you can see what kind of crud comes out of there. Two, is I'm going to keep this water for my indoor plants. This is the stuff you definitely don't want flowing back into your aquarium. Isn't that nasty? The last stuff you want to come back into your tank. Look at that. Yuck. Look at that water coming out. Crystal clear. And yet I'm going through this and cleaning that, and it's coming out nice and clean. It has a real easy on-off switch. And although I may not use it for all my tanks, I know what I am going to be using this for. Especially with the hose attached to it. I'm going to be using it for my outdoor ponds. That being my barrel ponds that I use for breeding fish in. This is just going to be what I needed. It's going to prevent me sucking up fry. It's powerful enough to lift all the dirt and debris from the bottom. I think I'm going to like this unit. Though I won't be using it totally in my tanks, I think I'll be keeping it mainly for outdoor use. There's so many attachments. Again, you just hook that up to the pump portion. Same with the brush. And this you'll probably use the most. Now, one thing I probably already mentioned, I'm not overly impressed with the hose. One, it could have been see-through, and two, it could have been of a better quality. What I really hope that this would work with is that I could hook it up to my existing 50-foot Hygger self-vacuuming hose that you just saw me use. I wish I could hook that up to that, and that would be slick. I'm sure if I converted something that I could hook the power unit itself up into it and then just have it come out after a bracket or two. I may work on that. Well, other than watching the top of my head a lot, I hope you learned something from this video. As you can see behind me, this tank is nice and clean now. There's no debris in the water. It'd be great for shooting a video, but I just shot a video on this one not too long ago. I have some more tanks to clean, and I'll be definitely using those new 6-in-1. I highly recommend those. The water pump itself, cleaner, is pretty good. I'll probably use it more outside. I still use this religiously to change my water and to top up my tanks. Way less work involved. Like I said, I wish I could have hooked up this to the water pump itself, just for getting into that either low-lying areas or spot cleaning. But maybe after they watch, they'll take that into consideration and make that. Well, thanks again for watching. Hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next video. Thoughtless. Gotta like that. Thanks again. Don't forget to check out the links down below.